Let us end our week with a particular highlight. The great Nigel Farage, his coverage on GB News was excellent of what was happening with Boris Johnson this week. And now he joins us for the aftermath. Great man. What are his chances? Because I know he can just bat it out for a year before they can come back at him again. I know there's not a general election again for about 2 years, which means, again, he can push through. But generally, when somebody cops a knock like this, they go within a few months. So what's your prediction?
Yeah, I mean, you're right. Under the rules, he's safe for another year. But I tell you what's not safe for another year, the Conservative Party or conservatism. Because Boris is now running a high tax, high spend, redistribution, super tax on successful companies. I mean, this is far to the left of anything Tony Blair dared to do as a Labour Prime Minister. So I think what's going to happen is in 2 weeks' time, there will be devastating losses in 2 special elections. Labour will take a seat in the north of England, the Lib Dems in the southwest of England. There'll be more unforced errors because that's Johnson's way. And the best hope, I think, for the party is that come sort of post the summer holidays, that the men in grey suits, as they're known in London, go into the office to say, look, Boris, all support has gone. Get out now while the going's good. All I can promise you is that if Johnson is captain of the ship at the next general election, the Conservatives are headed for a wipeout.
Well, but also, as was pointed out, that of the numbers who voted for him, a huge number of those people are on the government payroll. They have some version of being head of a committee or assistant minister, being a minister. So if you just looked at it at the raw vote of his backbench, a backbench that was increased to a majority of 80 at the last election, the backbench said very clearly, no, pal, we don't want you anymore.
Absolutely. There are 359 MPs eligible to vote. 140 of them are on the payroll. Lots of them get ministerial cars and people call them sir, and they feel terribly important. And after all, not many turkeys vote for Christmas now, do they? So if you take that out, I think it's pretty safe to say that 2/3 of the backbenches voted no confidence in a Prime Minister who hasn't even been there for 3 years. And that 41%, it was a bigger rebellion than there's ever been against any sitting Conservative Prime Minister in modern times. And the reason is simple. 1/3 of people who voted Conservative in 2019 think he's a liar and a charlatan, and they're just not going to change their minds.
So of those who may replace, who is the one that you would be happiest with because they are a definite statement of conservatism? They are somebody who gets it and gets why they might lose an election if they're not what they have to be.
Well, it must not be a Remainer. If it is, I might try and emigrate and come and live with you guys.
Bloody oath,
because we had that before with, because we had that with Theresa May. It was a catastrophe. Has to be a Leaver. Be nice to have somebody who wasn't a Sino, a Conservative in name only. There are 2 people I would look at. One, Priti Patel, who genuinely believes in free markets and small government, but has had a hell of a problem being minister dealing with the cross-channel illegal vessels. And the other one, and here's the outside horse, it's a man called Nadeem Zahawi, who hasn't come from the classic public school, Oxbridge, research office background. He actually made some money in business before getting into politics. Yeah, I know. Amazing, isn't it? Somebody with life experience. Wow. So they're the 2 at the moment. They're the 2 at the moment that I think could do it. But you know something? They've got to turn this ship around. They've got to completely change policy on energy, on green stuff. There's so much to do. There really is.
Bloody oath, the blue blood that would be boiling at the mere suggestion of someone not coming from the club, which is why we love you. Thank you, Nigel. All the best.